to prove to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that what happened to Sarah Sugden, the unfortunate wife of the man now before you in the dock, was not the result of a simple accident, nor indeed some bungled attempt at insurance fraud, but a premeditated and cold-blooded plan to exact final revenge on her and her lover. My lord, I should like to call my first witness, Richard Carter.
I didn't know a woman had been prosecuting him.
Let's just hope she's not as efficient as she looks.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Richard Carter?
Yes.
And you live at Pear Tree Cottage, 18 Main Street, Emmerdale?
Yes.
Up to the 16th of November last, who shared that cottage with you?
Sarah Sugden.
The deceased wife of the defendant?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what was your relationship with Sarah Sugden?
We lived together. We were lovers.
And at this time, was she married to the defendant, Jack Sugden?
Yes, but she'd left him to come and live with me.
And was this a temporary arrangement?
No. We've been together for over 6 months. I wanted to divorce him and marry me.
You say you were lovers, Mr. Carter. Does that mean you were in love with Sarah Sugden?
Very much.
How much?
I loved her more than anything I'd ever loved in my life.
Would it be true to say that her death was a great loss to you?
Of course it was.
Mr. Carter, I apologize for any distress it may cause you to recreate the events of the night of the 16th of November, and indeed the events leading up to that dreadful incident. But in the interests of this case, it's essential that I take you through them now.
It's all right, I'm fine now. Thank you.
What they're doing? You must have been in there an hour.
35 minutes.
Is that all?
Drags, doesn't it?
Thought you'd be used to it in your job.
There isn't a copper in the world who likes court days.
Not surprised. All this waiting. It's doing my head in.
So the barn was ablaze and you climbed down from the hayloft?
Yes.
Why wasn't Sarah able to follow you down the ladder?
It was on fire. I told her to jump, but she couldn't. The flames were too intense. Then something exploded.
And you ran out?
I couldn't breathe. I had to get some more air so I could go back in and save her.
But you didn't go back in, did you, Mr. Carter?
No.
And why was that?
Because he prevented me.
Who prevented you?
Jack Sugden. I wanted to go back in, but he overpowered me.
And was that to save you?
No, it wasn't to save me. It was to make sure Sarah didn't get out alive.
And how can you possibly know that?
Because it was him that started the fire in the first place.
You saw him?
Oh, yeah. I saw him all right.
Can we go back for a minute to the night before the fire? Did the defendant threaten both you and Sarah Sugden in the Woolpack Inn?
Yes, he did.
Can you remember what he said?
He said he swore to God that he could kill Sarah.
Swore to God he could kill his own wife?
He threatened me as well.
What did he say, exactly?
He said I could kill the pair of you.
I'll be calling more witnesses in due course to verify this, my lord. What was the mood of the defendant at the time?
He was out of control. There were people holding him down when I got to the pub.
Restraining him?
He attacked Sarah. He dragged her from a chair and he pinned her up against the wall.
My lord, I must protest. The witness was not present during these allegations.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hamilton-Jones. Mr. Carter, you will only tell us about things you saw or heard yourself. Miss Browning.
Mr. Carter, what was the mood of the defendant at this point?
He was crazy. Totally out of control.
Were you frightened by what he said?
I was frightened for Sarah. It was like he hated her. You could see it in his eyes.
What was Mrs. Sugden's reaction to his threats?
She was just as frightened as me. That's why we're hiding in the barn in the first place. You've got to understand, this man's dangerous. He even attacked me in hospital.
My lord, I really must protest. We are not here to discuss what happened after the event.
Thank you, Mr. Hamilton-Jones. Mr. Carter, you will address your evidence only to the night in question or the events leading up to the night in question. The jury will disregard the witness's last remark.